In this episode, Carl is facing the mother of all oversized baggage problems.
Adelaide or Sydney, Australia?
Joe is searching for a herd of missing passengers during Terminal 3's rush hour.
147 people, 25 minutes to find them. Close to impossible, I think.
And Hassan in customs can't believe what he's hearing.
What's your profession?
I'm a contract killer.
Killer?
Dubai International Airport, the busiest global hub on the planet and aiming to stay there.
Clear for takeoff?
But perfection is never easy.
It's not finished, it's supposed to be finished.
More planes to service.
Can we open the number 3 engine?
More situations to deal with.
What do you mean, live snakes?
More smugglers to stop.
This is the heroin here.
And massive engineering projects to complete on time. It's non-stop, 24/7. It's the job of 90,000 staff from all over the world to make this the ultimate airport. Dubai Airport handles over 66 million international passengers every year. Major delays here can kickstart a domino effect that causes connecting passengers to miss flights all over the world. But no matter the pressures, every one of the 90,000 employees here must maintain a high standard of service. It's midnight. While some international airports have nighttime curfews that shut them down,
Golf Air 513, ground, good evening.
Dubai is at its busiest. At peak times, as many as 34 planes land every hour. Each one adds more passengers to the rush hour traffic in Terminal 3.
8 flights, same time. No worries, leave it with me. Okay, thanks.
8 Emirates flights, including 3 huge A380s, have landed one after the other.
We're up to the transfer desk. We've got 8 flights arriving within 10 minutes. That's 3,000 people arriving in the same area. So Zach and I are on our way there now.
Emirates passenger operations now have the huge challenge of helping 45% transfer onto connecting flights.
And we need to make sure we've got enough manpower down there. Okay, just let me know. I'll give check-in a call. Yeah.
Giovanna Di Bassi, known as Jo, is a new airport services manager. She's keen to impress her new employer, and there's no better way of doing that than ensuring passengers catch the 2 critical flights due to leave for Australia in just over an hour's time.
My priority is to get the Sydney and Adelaide passengers out as quick as I can because we've got curfew in Sydney and Adelaide. If they leave even 10 minutes late, the flights could end up staying in Dubai.
Taking off late isn't an option.
Thank you.
With more than 12 hours needed to travel from Dubai to Australia, any delay now means the flights will not make it to Sydney or Adelaide before the curfew. The consequences? Chaos for the passengers and the airline's schedules.
On any night, the 2 most important flights are our Sydney flight and our Adelaide flight. Between the 2 flights, over 800 passengers.
Jo must find 800 passengers and connect them to their outgoing Australia flights. And with 3,000 incoming arrivals, this is no easy task.
Any passengers going to Sydney or Adelaide, send them through counter H1. It's only going to be open for Sydney and Adelaide passengers. H1, a security machine H1. Sydney or Adelaide?
Sydney, Adelaide.
With time at a premium, Jo tries to make it easier for her passengers and speeds up the security process by setting up a dedicated line.
So this is Sydney and Adelaide passengers?
Yes.
Will come through?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is a really busy time now. It's nearly at its capacity, so we need to do all we can to get passengers through so they don't miss their flights. You go through this line, H1.
Jo can't wait for her passengers to find their own way through and sends out her assistant Zach to proactively track down the missing travellers.
Okay, there is no time for you, so you have to pass the security fast. I'll let you pass fast. Go directly to B21. All right? Follow me.
From Paris to Sydney today. Very close. A bit too close, I think. So now I have to make a run.
Chaos here. I've just found out that 4 more aircrafts have just landed. That's over 1,500 passengers.
As Jo struggles to transfer passengers to their connecting flights,
Anyone to Sydney or Adelaide? Adelaide or Sydney, Australia?
air traffic control is landing more and more planes.
Straight, Sydney, Adelaide, straight through, thank you. Sydney or Adelaide?
Terminal 3 handles nearly 120,000 passengers a day, and tonight it feels like they've arrived all at once.
Our first flight's leaving in about 40 minutes. I'm going to have to go to the gate. There'll be enough staff down here to make sure they can send the last late runners through.
Jo and Zach rush to the departure gate to oversee the operation.
How many missing?
How many passengers are on that?
Emirates Network Control Centre monitors all of the airline's flights. And Jo has just been informed she has to transfer more late-arriving passengers.
147 people, 25 minutes to find them. It's going to be close to impossible, I think.
As Jo battles to get her passengers on their way to Australia, the relentless flow of incoming travellers is making the job in customs more difficult.
Tonight it's around 5,600 passengers. They are arriving now.
Over 66 million passengers enter Dubai every year.
Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Welcome.
It's crucial that the officers are respectful, but they still need to get results.
When it's more passengers, it's a little bit difficult to spot and search any passengers. So it's make you spot one passenger and focus on him, on his body language.
Tonight, Customs Officer Hassan Ibrahim's job is to sniff out anything illegal, suspicious or dangerous as thousands of people pass through arrivals.
Hello? Just I have a call now from my colleague. They spot one passenger. Hi. Fine, thank you. How are you? You speak English, yeah?
Yes.
You're from Australia?
Yeah.
What are these seeds?
The marijuana seeds.
Marijuana seeds belongs to you?
Unplanted.
Unplanted?
Yeah, they were given to me as like something like a gift souvenir. So, yeah, something.
So you don't use marijuana, you don't smoke marijuana or any kind of illegal drugs?
No. Maybe I think when I was 13.
Oh, you were 13?
13, 14, 15.
You were used to take
I used to sometimes smoke some marijuana.
some marijuana, but now you don't smoke anything?
No, not. No.
And these seeds, you said unplanned, and you're carrying with you?
Yeah.
Why are you carrying marijuana seeds with you?
Well, because they're legal to carry around as long as I don't plant them. By what I know.
No, but I know, but what you will do with the seeds? It's
No, they're for display only.
for display, huh?
Yeah, just for display.
Okay. Okay, so you don't have anything else more than all these seeds?
No.
Okay. So my colleague now, he will continue to check your bag to make sure that you don't have anything else with you.
Yeah, go on
Okay,
ahead.
just cooperate with them, please.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a big possibility that he can plant these seeds and get more marijuana, and maybe he will sell the marijuana, and that will be a big problem for us. And that will be a serious problem.
Dubai Customs has a zero-tolerance drug policy. With 220 drug busts last year, they take it very seriously. And a small amount of marijuana could lead to a 4-year prison sentence. It's certainly not a laughing matter.
What's your professional?
I'm a contract killer.
Contract?
Contract killer?
Killer?
Yeah.
How this contract? I didn't get you.
Professional hitman.
Hassan can't quite believe what he's hearing.
Yeah, you can choke somebody with that if you stretch it out. And
No
wrap it
problem.
around somebody.
If you want to know what the purpose from it, we'll ask you.
Do you need a hand with that?
No, it's okay. He will do it by himself, one by one. Thanks.
Hassan could be dealing with a mere joker, an addict, or a smuggler trying to distract him from finding more drugs.
Just we're making sure that you don't have anything else.
Either way, this passenger is not helping himself.
If you're looking for the heroin, it's in that pocket there.
So you have heroin with you?
In that, yeah, in that bit.
That's
Side top pocket.
Wait.
The zipper there. Gotcha.
Ah, okay. So you're funny, right?
Thanks. Try this tap.
Just we put it on the X-ray machine now. Your bags.
Okay.
As you saw, he was funny. I'm not sure he's a funny guy or maybe he's a little bit high.
Hassan is trained to remain focused. He wants to investigate this passenger's luggage thoroughly.
There's one spot here. I want to check it now to make sure what this exactly.
Yeah, that's my Bible. You know, I always got it with me. You know, like my handgun.
Unlike guns, it's not illegal to bring a Bible to Dubai.
Can I get a cup of tea?
Or to be a comedian.
Just come over to the body check.
Okay, nice.
Hassan decides to leave nothing to chance. A full body scan will literally reveal if this passenger is a serious drug smuggler or an ill-informed joker.
What's wrong with him? Is he dangerous on our country, on our people here, or the residents, people here with us, or maybe also on himself? So now he's coming.
The body check is negative. The passenger is not carrying any other drugs. Hassan has done all that he can.
Yeah, let's go.
But on the way to the investigation room, the passenger appears to pull his trousers down.
There's a line for respect. So don't cross this line.
Yeah, I just checked my
Listen to Amir, listen to me. I'm polite with you. I try to be reasonable with you. Okay? I respect that you've been a little bit funny with us. I accept that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, don't cross the red line. Okay?
Yeah,
There will be bad consequences on it.
I didn't see any chalk on the ground. Sorry.
Just come with me.
Lewd behavior in public is not acceptable in the United Arab Emirates, and this passenger is pushing his luck.
Your behavior, not right. There's something wrong with you. You're mentally, you are not like a natural guy.
The passenger's behavior gives Hassan little choice but to hand him over to the police and the judicial system.
My job is finished. The drug section, they will test his blood, and also they will check the seats. Also, he will check what's wrong with him.
The final call has gone out for both curfew flights to Australia.
Adelaide or Sydney, Australia? No.
Adelaide is scheduled to depart first, and 10 minutes after that, Sydney.
1414.
It's going to be tight. Yeah, it's going to be tight.
But with only 25 minutes remaining before the gate is closed for Sydney, Joe is still looking for 147 passengers.
Called and asked. I've got 10 minutes. I've got till 2 o'clock. Anything after that, I really don't have.
With more connecting customers having just landed and so many others missing, Emirates Network Control Centre is forced to authorise a 10-minute extension for both flights.
81 passengers, 18 minutes. So the clock's ticking too quickly. It does sound impossible, but stranger things have happened, so I'm hoping. Sydney, passengers to Sydney. Wedding dress? Yes, congratulations. Anyone to Sydney?
Despite the pressure, Jo still needs to stay calm and compassionate when her passengers need a little TLC.
You made it?
I just arrived 105 from Manchester. It was
Everyone's rushing. No, you made it.
Come on.
Just
I'm on a
check.
special mission. I'm bringing my mother's ashes back.
Oh, are you?
So that's why. I
Oh,
just
no,
want to
no, you've made it. No, you've made it. So.
Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm holding people up.
No, you haven't. We're waiting on about 70 more people. So 70.
70. My mother had 8 trips with me to Sydney. Came to see me on 8 occasions. So I'm just on my way back now with her ashes to scatter over the harbour, Sydney Harbour.
There's no one in the seat next to you either, so you can have both seats. And just think your mum will be proud. That's all right. Have a nice flight. Bye, Mr. Watson.
One down, 69 more passengers to go.
Only Sydney, please. Only Sydney.
Hi, it's Joe. No, I just got a phone call that Adelaide gate needs to close now. Close the doors, please, and we'll go.
8 minutes after the scheduled departure, the gate to Adelaide is closed.
I'm going to stick to Sydney and, yeah, just hope for the best. 11 minutes.
Please try to find them. They're elderly passengers and they're not in contact with special handling.
Are they British?
There are still 2 missing passengers for the Sydney departure.
Zach, looking for 2 wheelchair passengers. 2 elderly wheelchair passengers from Birmingham.
They're not in contact.
We don't know where they are. So maybe if you go down to Central Point, go downstairs.
Central.
Zach heads off to track down the 2 wheelchair-bound latecomers. With their bags already loaded onto the plane, if he doesn't find them within the next 8 minutes, their bags will have to be removed and the flight may miss its takeoff slot to Australia.
Are you okay?
We started had special assistance.
Oh, okay.
And we've had none.
The 2 missing elderly passengers, minus their wheelchairs, have finally made it.
Other end. Are you going just as far as Sydney or?
Going to Sydney.
Going to Sydney? All right. You've made the flight, so don't rush anymore. Is that it? Yes. Hey, we've got them all 414 at the gate. Close it up. Thank you. Miracle happened. Thanks.
1:55 a.m. Joe has transferred all 147 missing passengers onto both flights.
Feeling a lot better now. I really didn't think it was going to happen, so I'm quite surprised. At the time, I think, help me, but then afterwards I think, oh my gosh, it's done. It was great. When's the next drama going to happen? So I'm just waiting on that call. Hi, Emirates, it's Joe. Yeah? -5. And what time's that scheduled to depart? 2:55. All right, I'll go there now. Thanks. Never ending.
Dubai International has a passenger capacity of 75 million people a year. Keeping the planes operating safely and on time is central to the running of the entire operation and any future expansion.
They're having some potable water issues where they're not getting water pressure throughout the airplane, and they're having a delay. It's supposed to go to San Francisco.
Zoe Amory is a maintenance engineer. He troubleshoots and tries to fix aircraft faults at the terminal stands. A good day's work is when he solves problems without delaying any planes.
Not having any water pressure in the aircraft is a problem, especially on a long flight like San Francisco, because for everything, for washing, for coffee, teapots, and the ovens, I think, on the airplane also have steam. We'll be under pressure, and now and until the airplane pushes back, there'll be a lot of phone calls and a lot of people asking what's going on until we get it sorted.
The problem is, all 300 passengers have already boarded the plane. Zoe and his crew must find the fault and fix it before the plane is allowed to take off.
That's where the water servicing takes place. We'll just go up inside there. This is where our water's held right here. These are water tanks. And then water pumps are down here. It's a bit hard to hear because the fans are blasting away.
In Emirates Network Control Center, news comes through of the fault.
All right, mate. Thank you, buddy. Cheers, bye.
Okay, George, the 225, they had a primary water pump failure. Because it's such a long sector, the engineering team are not happy for it to run on the secondary pump solely, just in case that fails in flight. Because that would affect all the toilets, the water system, everything. So
the estimate they're giving?
We're looking at probably a 45-minute delay. They have to hold the loading in the bulk to fix it.
Okay.
George Brummer and his team monitor every single Emirates plane around the world. Day and night, in the air and on the ground. Assessing and managing the global knock-on effects that occur to the airline during any delays.
Yeah, 15 hours, 30 minutes flight time. So definitely we have to get this fixed, because if the water supply doesn't work in flight, that could be a drama. Terminal is also congested. We got immigration queues, we got check-in queues, all of that. So that is causing a problem.
The failure of a little water pump threatens to cause a big impact for passengers on board that have connecting flights in San Francisco to other destinations.
Most of the stations will have extremely high passenger numbers. There's hardly any space on flight, so even if something breaks anywhere, there's no real option for us to rebook passengers.
Down in the belly of the plane, the temperature is a stifling 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Fortunately, Zoe thinks he's found the source of the fault.
Basically, the water system has an override switch, and if somebody is putting in the wrong selection, so if it's selected wrong, it won't allow any pressure in the tank.
And he thinks the solution is a simple reversal of the switch.
At the moment, I think they got it sorted. They've reset the system. They're running one test and waiting for a positive outcome before we close up here. So we're about 20 minutes into a delay, but looks like it's going to have a good outcome anyway.
Up in the network control center, the team waits for confirmation of the successful fix. Delaying customers is bad business, particularly if passengers miss connecting flights.
What is it? Failed. The pump change has failed. And now I've had the passengers on board the aircraft for about an hour. If that drags on another hour, we'll have to consider taking them off, which becomes a bigger issue.
Network control and line maintenance are not the only ones being scrutinized today. It's day 17 of an 80-day, $300 million project to upgrade and repair the airport's 2 runways, south and north.
Deadline's a deadline, and we want to beat those deadlines.
With only 1 runway open and 26% less planes able to use the airport, revenue is down.
Now, we have only 6 or 7 shifts to finish all the works. We have to do 90 kilometers of cables. We have to do 700 airfield lights. We have to meet that challenge to beat the deadlines.
The commercial pressure to get back to full capacity rests on the shoulders of engineering projects manager Yusuf Pirzadeh.
We are hoping to open the runway slightly earlier. That will give us the opportunity to start north runway earlier, because the challenges in north runway are much more than the south runway. In south runway, we had 95,000 cubic meters for. North runway, we have 290,000 cubic meters for.
The north runway works will be a tougher task. More time will be needed if it's to be delivered on schedule and budget. But the site won't be signed off and opened earlier unless the regulator and the operator of Dubai airports is happy it's fit for purpose and safe.
We're looking at paint marking, signage, the asphalt, pit covers. All this should now be finished.
Lawrence Vincent Edwards is in charge of airfield development. If Yusuf is to open the south runway early, he will have to convince him it's ready.
If they're not, it's a schedule issue now, and we start looking at the schedules drifting.
It's a classic battle between commercial pressure and safety.
I don't like this inspection. It is just like school days. Somebody is checking your homework.
But as he waits for Lawrence to inspect his work, he spots something he doesn't like.
You have to grind those edges. Yes. This is caused by a super brush. The sharp edges on the airfield lights can cause major damage to the aircraft wheels, and it is very important that those imperfections are rectified before operation starts.
En route to meet Yusuf, Lawrence and his team are taking the opportunity to have a sneak peek.
Contractors and operators always have slightly different agendas. The contractor wants to do the minimum that he needs to do in order to get it operationally ready, and the end user wants everything else in the scope that might be a little bit more subtle.
We don't think there is any issue here. There might be minor issues, but we just want to move on and to start other areas. Hello?
We're about 5 minutes away. So we'll come down and meet you at A and B, yeah?
Yeah, and we've completed the inspection and we found it perfect.
You've already completed the inspection, you found it perfect?
Excellent. Yeah, and we...
Let's go. See you on C&D, we can just drive down to A and B.
Okay.
Bye. That was Yusuf. He seems quite happy, seems to have everything under control. Let's see whether finished actually means finished.
Lawrence and his airfield development team are inspecting the south runway. No stone is unturned, no detail is too small. Everything is examined.
Just look at this light fitting. I think this one should be straight, and it's not. Everything has to be right on the taxiway, because when a pilot comes down here, visual cues he's getting are from the lights and the markings. If the light's pointing in the wrong direction, it could cause confusion or get him lost.
John Hall and Lawrence are hoping the runway can open early, so that Yusuf and his engineers can get a head start on the second phase of the project and shut down the north runway. It's not to be.
Stop bar mark is not complete.
Right.
Our sign base is missing.
Yep.
We still need markings. Stop bar, sense line lights, edge lights need to go in.
You don't have a good control over their quality. Cut corners, cutting corners, reduction scope, and we'll be out here in year 7 doing a major refurbishment rather than year 10, which we're banking on.
Soft areas, can't even look at those, they're not finished.
Yeah.
Spot everywhere.
That's not good.
FOD, foreign object debris, can be sucked into the engine of an aeroplane and destroy it. It's an absolute no in aviation.
Just a few tools left lying around. I'm sure they'll be picked up eventually, but we like to see the area clean. Can you have those? Get rid of them, yeah? On the other construction site wouldn't be such an issue, but we're expecting planes down here in 10 days' time or less. If it becomes a FOD issue, it could cause an engine failure or a tyre burst, particularly on the runway.
Huge amount of effort's gone into to get it to the point where we are today. But the bit that counts when it comes to safety is that last 20%. At the moment, that 20% isn't here yet. A bit of a disappointment.
John and Lawrence have seen enough. It doesn't look good. Safety always wins over commercial pressure, and it's time to break the news to Yusuf.
Aaron's C&D isn't complete. They get the contractor rocket, but we need to be really explicit with them as to what's outstanding. I don't want them tripping over things and finding, oh, that's not done, and we haven't told them about it.
No. The difficult task is already done. The remaining is an easy task and it takes time, but we have plenty of time.
All we're missing is signs, lights and markings.
Yes.
When we get those done, we can have an inspection, yeah?
Yeah, no, yes.
Right.
So centre line markings, there's no stop bar markings, there's no stop bar lights, no centre line lights, there's no edge lights.
We are hoping to complete everything tonight, all the physical work.
A lot? It's a lot to do.
No, it's not.
Does this include these markings?
Marking is the easiest thing.
FOD clearance?
Marking is the easiest thing.
Despite the review, Yusuf is optimistic. He still has 14 days to complete the south runway, but that won't stop him from pushing to open it earlier.
It is important that to have a positive attitude towards the project, because the project is difficult, and if you don't have an optimistic and can-do attitude, it can impact the whole team.
557, chocks on, was 1710.
Ground dispatcher Carl Knight is at the sharp end, pushing his crew to load planes on time, every time.
Right now, I'm on the way, just got the load plan, 90 minutes to departure for a 777 freighter aircraft bound for Singapore and on to Sydney.
More than 2.6 million tons of cargo travel through Dubai Airport every year.
Here we go.
It's a tough, competitive business. There's no room for error.
We've just got power on the aeroplane now. Angel! Angel! Can we get the door open, maiden? Can we get the door open, please, yeah? We've got the power in the last 5 minutes.
But all is not what it should be at the loading bay.
Which ones are you missing, Arif? Alfa Romeo, yeah. Echo Fox Lima, yeah. Juliet Lima, yeah. Papa Lima as well. We're 4 pallets missing. Is that ours? No? No, it's not. Looks like it's for another flight. 20-foot pallet on Echo Fox Lima. We can't change the loading, so we're just gonna have to wait. For Romeo pallet currently is not located, not at the bay.
65 tons of cargo need to be located and loaded in precise order to keep the plane balanced. To make matters worse, one piece of freight that has arrived poses the mother of all oversized baggage problems.
It's, as you see, it's a Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engine. It weighs 11 tons. Just spoken with the team loading it. Neither of them have actually loaded this before. So that's another challenge we're going to face now. But he's confident it'll be okay. We're just going to have to be extremely, extremely careful because there isn't going to be very much clearance. The door, it's going to be so close to the door. This will only just fit on the airplane. This will only just fit. We're going to be working to within maybe an inch or two of the door frame. It's very, very tight fit.
Since coming into service, Trent 900 engines have flown the equivalent of 10,000 times around the world and carried 34 million passengers. But this one's going nowhere until Carl's crew find and load all the other cargo.
There's weight restrictions on certain compartments on this aircraft. We're certainly not going to change the loading position for that. That's all been carefully planned. The engine's critical, it's on the same position.
Time is slipping away. Carl must load 65 tons of miscellaneous freight and 11 tons of awkward jet engine in 45 minutes if this 777 is to leave on schedule.
Right, I'm just going to go and brief the captain on the departure for the flight. Hello. Captain, good evening. It's not looking good for on-time departure, my brother. The bad news, we're still missing some cargo. We've got this engine to load. Realistically, we'll try our best, but 45 minutes and still missing units, it's not looking great.
In the Network Control Center, the operations team have just found out the attempt to fix a broken water pump on the San Francisco-bound 777 has failed.
Okay, speak to the crew, tell them that we take another 30 minutes, and then I think that makes sensible. It's a sensible call, I guess.
If line engineer Zoe doesn't fix the pump within the next 30 minutes, the flight will be cancelled, beginning a global domino effect, with delayed and disgruntled customers missing connecting flights and everything else.
So with the troubleshooting that our colleague did, Licio, that he decided the pump controller is not working. The controller controls both pumps A and B, so we're gonna elect to replace it.
Up in the control center, George knows he can't depend on the part arriving in time.
Okay, there's definitely no way to release the aircraft with one pump only, yeah?
We can release it if we want, but it's a risk. That's what he's saying. If the secondary pump fails in flight, they'll be without water.
His first thought, can they manage without it?
Golf Echo has a water pump failure. And do you think there will be any failures in flight? Because if that happens, then I have a problem. No, you think?
As long as our pump is healthy, no failure can be.
Okay, and how can we determine that it's healthy? Okay, that brings me back to square one, actually.
Despite some ambiguous reassurance from his technical advisor, George won't take any risks. Zoe must fix the pump.
We're just changing the water controller, the pump controller.
Thankfully, the part has arrived. Zoe and his team have just 15 minutes left to fit it.
We got time pressure, we got the heat. Yeah, you kind of feel the pressure is on.
The part is installed with just minutes to spare.
Now that we got the controller in, we got to test that it works. He's feeling now to make sure each pump's working when it should be working. So hopefully, that'll be the end of it. We can close up.
Can we just check with the engineer and make sure it is serviceable? All right, thank you. Cheers. Thanks, bye. It's now serviceable, George.
After 90 minutes delay, EK225 to San Francisco is back in service.
Makes you extremely uncomfortable if things are not working as per plan, but that's unfortunately the name of the game here.
A mix-up with some missing cargo means Carl and his crew only have 45 minutes to fully load this 777 with 65 tons of freight.
It's that one. Okay, that's the one. It's here. This is the one we're waiting for. We can continue with the loading now. It's going to be really, really, really pushing it now. We're on a very tight deadline now. Now time is really of the essence. Go, go, go. We need it straight on.
Carl needs to load the remaining standard-sized cargo quickly so that they can finally load the awkward 11-ton engine. With the help of this plane's onboard loading rollers, the heavy pallets are rapidly put into position.
What's he saying?
There's 2 pallets, it's overhang.
No, it's not going to work. We shouldn't have done it then. Yeah, 9822. It's not going to work because of the double overhang. We're going to have to rethink the whole thing, mate. Basically, the problem here is the height of this pallet. This, unfortunately, touches the roof and will damage the roof if we try to load this on position. This one being a lot lower, it won't touch the ceiling, so we have to swap these.
Each pallet is allocated a position on board depending on its weight and height.
This should all have been pre-planned. We shouldn't be having to do this.
It's all carefully calculated to ensure the plane's maximum capacity is safely used. But someone has made a mistake.
If this doesn't fit, we're going to be here all night. Back, 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 back. Back, back. All the way, all the way. Yahoo! Yeah, it's fine, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. Another inch, wouldn't go. We're only done with approximately a third of the loading right now. Flight is supposed to depart in 24 minutes. As you can see, we're nowhere near. Going to be ready in 24 minutes.
An hour has passed, and Carl still hasn't started loading the oversized A380 engine.
We're ready for loading the engine now. This is the big challenge. This is the bit we've been waiting for. Bigger than your average car engine, isn't it?
The loaders cautiously maneuver 11 tons of precision-engineered jet engine through the hatch of the $300 million 777.
You'll see how tight it is to the top of the door once it comes in. We'll bring it in another couple of feet, and then they'll start to turn it.
One wrong move could cost millions in damages and delays. Carl and his crew are 20 minutes over their scheduled departure time and still struggling to load the awkward jet engine.
It's very close to the door frame. If we seriously damage the aircraft, well, the aircraft won't go. Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that? What is that?
The rollers are straining under the weight of the engine.
It's just getting a little bit close. There's still a risk of it touching, so we just take it back. They'll twist it in a little bit. Give us a little bit more room. We in? Can we just straighten it a little? Oh, it's fine now. It's fine now. We're very close, but we've done it. The team has done that very well. Yeah, we just got the engine in position.
Network control is not happy about the delay, and they want a progress update from Carl.
First of all, I got to the load plan, 90 minutes to departure. 90 minutes to departure, load plan is here. I got to the aircraft. We had no power on the aircraft for another 15 to 20 minutes. Then we were missing cargo. Last cargo only received at minus 40. Minus 40 last cargo received. And then we had some loading changes on board. So there are a whole multitude of things, Willie. Multitudes of things.
There's commercial pressure to get the cargo in the air as quickly as possible, but Carl won't take any risks with safety.
You can imagine 11 tons. You see how close there is? There's no clearance to the ceiling. Yeah, if we don't tie this down, yeah, that 11 tons in turbulence is going to become a bouncing ball in here. So that poses a serious structural risk to this aircraft in flight if that's not secured. That's why we need 40 lashing belts. If this aircraft was to try and take off now like this whole unit would start braking the engine, braking this cargo, posing a whole safety risk to the whole flight. Is that tied in? Huh? Is that tight now? Yeah. How are we getting vertical restraint on this? What about it hitting the ceiling if it goes in turbulence? Do we have any lashing points under this thing? I'd be very surprised if we have, you know. We don't have an option? Oh, no, we do. We have these. Just make sure these are tied down.
Yeah, these are tied down.
We can only work with what we've got, can't we? Here, we've got enough room to put the tie-downs. That side, we're going to have to play a little bit and be a little bit inventive. What you need to do is you need to put a belt from here across the corners.
Okay.
Nothing is holding the frame to the floor. Nothing is going over the frame. I've already told you it's got to be across.
Yeah, we're going to put it first. We're going to put it in the side first, and then we're going to put it on the...
Yeah, OK. Can we do that now, please?
30 minutes over schedule and under pressure, Carl puts his back into it.
OK, guys, right. I'm going to try and script this through this hand. I can't get in. Guys, somebody's going to have to lie down and do that. I have a slip disc. I can't really do that. I'm trying to get it on. Can you attach it to the pallet, please? Are we almost ready there? Yeah, we're almost finished with this lashing. Almost finished.
Before the freighter can take off for Singapore, the captain of the plane has to inspect Carl's work. If he doesn't like the way the engine has been strapped down, Carl will have to start again, and the flight will be further delayed.
Strapped down securely, it won't move at all. Very pleased, they've done a great job.
Okay, doors closed, EK9822, doors are closed, finally. The flight's gone with a total of 53-minute delay in the end. Cannot cut corners with this. We do it properly or we don't do it at all.